folks, welcome again to Why God Why. This is Zach.
And God.
I was gonna introduce you.
Oh, sorry.
Stepping on my toes a little bit. And I feel fine about that. Because I am thankful that you're here.
Oh, that's nice. I don't hear that a lot.
I am really thankful, actually. It's I understand what a rare opportunity it is for somebody to, well, for you to come down and talk to anybody.
Sure.
And I feel, blessed.
You
is the
feel
word
special?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're the only unique creature in all of existence.
Well, here we go. It's already getting into it, man. I mean, why do you...
Yeah, that's human beings.
It's
think
mocking
they're so
tone.
special.
I'm not saying that. Look.
I was talking to a dolphin earlier this morning,
Okay.
and he was just real chill about it.
Okay, so I'm a little starstruck.
Oh, that's great.
Is that something I need to be ashamed of? No, I'm talking to God. Do you mind if I go ahead with the episode?
I would love that.
Or do you want to say what you think I'm going to say
I don't
for
know.
the rest of this half hour?
I'm going to make this clear to human beings out there. I don't know what you're thinking. People do dark things. The last thing I want to know is what's going on inside their brains.
But you're always watching them. You've made that clear.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen some shit. Yeah.
Is that your choice?
No.
I'm sorry that that's saddled on you. I guess you made the universe. It feels like you should be able to step away from that task, but who am I to question you?
Well, you know what? There are times where I close my eyes. I don't want to see everything. But I will say I've seen enough things that when people do weird stuff, it doesn't startle me. I've seen a lot of people having sex with sheep.
Remarkably, that a lot.
Like, more people have sex with sheep than people have sex with their stepmoms in porn. Yeah.
Well, they're very soft. So the episode, basically why we're here today is because we're going to talk about why bad things happen to good people, why good things happen to bad people. This is sort of, I don't know what you call this, the justice episode or the lack of justice episode.
I mean, here's what I'm going to tell you. The answer is really disappointing.
Oh, great. I can't wait
to
hang out with you for this next
Well, because here's why. Everyone wants to know, why did this person get cancer? And my response is, well, they had a lot of cells that started growing irregularly and they had cancer.
Yeah, but the thing, okay, I understand, because I'm a smart person, why cancer happens.
Yeah.
Or not why it happens, but how it happens. I understand cells get mutated, and that mutation can grow, and then they duplicate, and then there's a tumor, and then that's cancer.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. The question is, and I know you're being, consciously obtuse or cute about this. The question is, why did you make that so?
Why did I make cancer?
Yeah, why? What was the purpose of it?
Well, it's an interesting, you're going to hate this answer too.
Oh, great.
Cancer, if you think about your body like an ecosystem, cancer is just a group of cells that decided to do their own thing. They're like, you know what? We don't want to follow what the host is doing. We want to do our own thing, and they want to do their own thing at the detriment of the host. I don't know if that sounds familiar. Creatures that are destroying your own planet. No, this isn't a joke. No, it's not.
Macro
because
humanity.
You're super supportive of a group of human beings that decide to go rogue, do their own thing. You actually look at them as heroes. But when a bunch of cells do it inside your own ecosystem, now you've got a problem.
Look, a human being is an unspeakably amazing mechanism.
I guess so.
And I'm trying to be complimentary.
No, well, here's the thing that I'm going to say. I have this conversation with human beings all the time because human beings think they are so special. And they're not. I deal with every creature in existence, and you're only one of them. You're probably the one that talks to me the most. But here's what I'll tell you. There's a giraffe yesterday. Great giraffe. Teenager, very young. Nothing but good things. Good to his community. He ate his leaves last after everyone had eaten his leaves. And then earlier this morning, he was mauled by a tiger. Now, that giraffe didn't deserve it.
No.
You know why that giraffe got mauled by a tiger?
Circle of life, it's nature.
Because there is a tiger that wanted to eat. He was also having a great day. And he's like, oh man, look at that giraffe. I want to eat that. That looks delicious.
Okay.
And then he ate him. So you've got two creatures that exist. They have conflicting desires, and that creates conflict.
Okay.
Now, you might go, that giraffe didn't deserve it. Absolutely not. But let's say I took the tiger and I starved the tiger. I made it so that that tiger never got to eat any food ever because he's only surrounded by other creatures that are just really good giraffes and antelope and things like that. So he should never do any harm to them.
Because
And then
they're
I
all
kill
really
a
good.
tiger for no reason.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Well, what I'm saying is everyone gets upset when it happens to them. But they
I'm
don't
upset
get
because the tiger, it seems to me, is like an integral part of the ecosystem.
Sure.
I don't understand how the mutated, like, cancerous cells are what are they contributing to the ecosystem that makes it necessary for them to kill humans?
They're just doing their own thing. They just want to survive, and that's their choice of how they want to survive.
But you put them there. That's the core of the issue, is that you put them there. You could, the way that you talk about them, it seems like they don't have an impact one way or another on the ecosystem. They're just out for themselves. So why not remove them from the ecosystem at all and then spare the humans that die of cancer?
Well, because humans need to die of something. Do you know what I mean?
Have you heard of age?
If I let all of you people live until your maximum old age, you'd all die from starvation. And are you going to start culling the herd and deciding who's going to live and who's not going to live more than you already do?
I think a lot of people would think that would be your call.
I tried the punishment method, and I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't work. For example, so early versions of mankind, terrible. Lots of rape, lots of pillaging, lots of just murder, nonstop. Just nonstop. Like, people would just kill each other because they're like, you're another human being and I can't have you coming into my field or messing with my tribe. So they would just kill each other. So what I said was like, hey, Noah, build a boat, get all the cool peeps who just really at the time were animals, put them on a boat. I'm going to flood everything. Kill them all.
Yeah.
Moment the flood was over, started repopulating the world. You know what the first thing happened?
What was that?
People started raping and pillaging each other. I killed everyone. I punished everybody. And that was the first thing that they started doing.
It honestly seems to me, like, from somebody from an outsider's perspective, like that is something that should have been corrected in the human, I don't know, psyche, genome from the outset. I don't mean to call your abilities into question. I never do. I'm curious about this. We're actually, we're getting to some issues that I want to talk about a little more in depth, and actually more than I can do alone.
Great.
We have a guest here today, an extraordinarily curious guest, and he's coming in hot. Ladies and gentlemen, so Brandon McShane is joining us today. What's up, Brandon?
How's it going?
What's up, Brandon?
You really God?
Oh, my God. Are you really Brandon?
All right,
How do I know you're not a clone?
great. Brandon, I appreciate you being here, and I'm glad you're here to bear the brunt of what I have to deal with, because this is
Here to help.
apparently some spicy jardiniere.
Isn't that life, though? Some things go well, some things don't go well.
So I just want to start by opening up to you. We're talking about why good things happen to bad people, why bad things happen to good people. Is there a scale of justice? Blah, all this stuff. I'll just put it to you. Like, what your guy got here right in front of you. You ask him anything.
I guess my question is, I mean, I have so many, I don't know how much time we have, but my main thing is not only why bad things happen to good people, I want to know what you think about, like, what's the deal with this whole self-help movement of people, like, you set the good intentions, you clear out your life, you, like, instant manifestation. If you just wish it, if you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, then everything will work out in your life.
It's exhausting. The tough thing I'll say about the self-help energetics movement that is out there is it puts this weight on you where if you ever have a bad thought ever, you had it coming to you. But The moment good things happen, they go, well, that's because you were doing the work. And all it is a series of like reinforcing patterns. So it's like if you have a coincidental moment, they will go, it's because I was tapping my forehead 80 times a day. Now, they've been tapping their forehead for several months and nothing's happened. But when something finally happens, they go, you know what? It's because I was tapping my forehead. That's the problem. It wasn't because they were tapping their forehead. It was just a random thing that happened. Here's what I'll tell you. A lot of people jump to all these self-help things because they want to control the outcome. They don't want the world to be random. They want the world to obey their pattern because they're the most special, significant person in their own universe, which I totally get. I'm my own special person in my universe, which I actually made. But the thing is they're actually not that special. They are at the whim of a myriad of things that are out of their control.
So what can you do then to bring, like, I don't want to use too new agey speak, but to bring like bounty into your life?
Like abundance or...
The one thing I will say that people get right is gratitude. And I don't mean to be all new agey about that, but here's the science behind why I say gratitude is a thing. If you are able to accept a moment is what it is, you don't spend the next several days beating yourself up over a moment not being what you wanted it to be, which means that you just have more energy to take care of the next moment. But like if you mess something up, if something bad happens and you spend a whole week being upset about that bad thing that happened, you just lost a whole week. That's a whole week that something good could have happened or bad. It's a mixed bag of things.
So would you say that hard work equals success or no? Like, is hard work necessary for success or no?
I mean, sometimes.
What does that mean?
Sometimes?
Well, the person that wins the lotto didn't work very hard. You guys have YouTube now. That's a whole thing. You asked me.
What do you mean by that?
Well, because there are people that are like YouTube stars and like multi-millionaires for what? Squishing their face in bread? I couldn't explain to you why human beings do the things that they do. You all seem very fascinated by it. That there's a girl smushes her face in bread and you can't look away.
So does
and
that
she's
mean...
a millionaire.
Yes.
I didn't make that. People make that.
But you've set up the parameters and the structure to allow that to happen.
It's kind of coming from why does our psyche have to respond to and reward that sort of behavior then?
Mostly because people are lazy inherently. Just because you want to have more bang for your buck. You want to have, want to put a little bit of energy and get a lot out of it.
Sure.
And as evolution has continued to happen, that's true. You don't have to spend all day hunting for your food. You go to a grocery store. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't have to spend all day writing letters to your friends and waiting months later to write another letter to wait. You can keep tabs on 1,000 people with no effort. I think that people have just gotten used to having things be low input, maximum output. And they come to expect that out of life.
We've had a lot to chew on, and I'm actually really stimulated right now by this conversation.
Great.
I'm going to go to some listener questions here.
Sure.
We got a couple ripe ones. So I'm just going to read this.
Great.
This is we've been basically talking about this, but I just got to read this question.
Cool.
I'm going to read it word for word. Why should anyone worship an omnipotent being that has chosen to inflict war, famine, genocide, and rape on their species? And also, WTF were they thinking with Donald Trump, period. These things existing make it pretty clear to me that God doesn't exist.
Here's the thing. I didn't make people so they could worship me. Also,
Do you,
well,
quick question,
no,
do you
no,
want
no.
that?
Yeah,
Do you
No,
want that?
I'd like to know that
I
as
don't.
well,
I don't.
actually.
I don't. I like people to be grateful. That'd be nice. But as for the me creating all those things, this is my problem with the hypocrisy of human beings. They've got free will, right? Mm-hmm. And then they also...
I mean, I guess.
No, you do.
You tell me.
You've got free will. You've got free will, but then you blame the things that you do on me. Those can't exist in the same space. If you have free will and you make your own decisions, then your decisions are your responsibility. They're not mine.
You gave us the raw materials to work with, to
Yeah.
have free will.
Sure.
Like, you are the creator. You made me. So, in a certain way, my free will, yes, immediately is my responsibility, but in another way, it's also your responsibility.
Well, let me ask you this. You're a human being, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So is Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay.
Now, they're the same watch. You like using this watchmaker metaphor.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
It's a good metaphor.
It's the same series of DNA things. Why does Jeffrey Dahmer eat people and you're a good person?
I don't know why he eats
No
people.
idea.
Because of free will. Not because I went into Jeffrey Dahmer's head and was like, you know what? People look delicious.
Why
Maybe
would
you
someone
should
have
do
free
that.
will to want to eat people?
You know, sometimes in the construction of things, wires get crossed.
Oh, okay, so it was a mistake.
When you manufacture a lot of stuff, especially in mass,
When you make a lot of watches.
when you make a lot of watches, wires are going to get crossed. I'm not making everyone on the same mold. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Also, here's the other thing.
Yep.
People breed for different reasons. Now, back a few centuries ago, I had to deal with a lot of inbreeding. That was a big topic of the time. And the thing that would happen is, you know, I'd get two sets of DNA that are like identical, and they're like, oh, you know, don't have anything wrong. Like,
See what you can do with
yeah,
this.
see what I can do with this. You know, I'm doing the best that I can here.
And you're like, look, you gave me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're just a guy doing the best.
yeah. There's a lot of crossbreeding, and it's the same thing that like happened with dogs. So it's
People
like,
breed now to be like basketball players.
sure, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that gives you have a do you like that? You get a lot to work with. You get all these genes and you're like, look what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Crack your knuckles and just
I like when something can be authentically what it is.
Are
When
you
somebody
personally involved with every person that's made still, or do you have like a
I've talked about this
system that-
before. I have it kind of on like a shuffle setting.
like an iPod shuffle?
Yeah. You know, well, a lot of people have their own input too, so I don't choose who you mate with. And when you've got your DNA and this person's DNA and you throw them together, there's only so much soup I can make out of, you know. It's basically like doing an Iron Chef challenge where they give you a whole bunch of ingredients and they're like, make an amazing
Chopped.
dish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. Oh, a chopped. That's it's a better one.
I know.
I can't necessarily make an amazing gourmet meal out of every set of ingredients I get.
so just for the bloggers and the aggregators here.
Sure.
What do you say to this listener who says all this bad stuff existing makes it pretty clear to me that God doesn't exist?
I say that they should talk to somebody. They're clearly processing a lot of anger and a feeling of life isn't fair, which we were very clear that it's not. I think therapists are great. I'm going to come out here and say, everyone go to therapy, whether you're working through things or not. Not that I'm going to say that professional therapists are dynamite because they're just people too, but like
Sure.
talk to somebody, have a friend, work some things out. You know, be open and vulnerable with your feelings. That's also how I find out things too. I don't find out something unless somebody says it.
Well, I think we got maybe time for one more question.
Yeah. Send me a zinger.
I've tried to end it on a vaguely positive note. I think we've been doing a lot of
This
a
got
lot of
deep.
gnashing of teeth and stuff like that, which I think is fine for this. Honestly, I think this forum is like the place where we want to bring up these things.
Sure.
We got a listener who asks, "How can I save more souls?" I'm interested in how you interpret that question. So, Brandon, you're automatically anti that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he has to say about it.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually with Brandon on this.
Okay, how so?
Well,
How can I save more souls?
Save more souls has this implication of like this. You have this high and
Yeah.
mighty, you know,
Pretentious.
It's super
What it
pretentious.
is.
Also, spoiler alert: there's no heaven.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, there's 100% not a heaven. Here's what I will ask you as human beings, and you can think about this in your own thought equation. If I made a heaven where everything was perfect and you were always happy and you were with the people that you loved, what a dick move it would be to put you on Earth.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, but you've just said it was that the implication would be that would being on Earth would give us the experience of going through all of this conflict that we go through every day and like learning this stuff, and then the reward being
That's the hell.
eternal
You have a
happiness.
reward thing. See, this goes back to the whole. This is my big thing. Human beings think they're so special. I have every creature in existence that talks to me about the stuff that they've got going on.
Okay.
Okay, they don't think there's a heaven. They're very aware. They're very grateful they're alive every day.
You're talking about animals?
Animals, insect, bacteria.
What do
You
they
don't think
sound
there's a
like?
difference? Yeah. So yeah, what are they saying?
I mean, not much. They're just psyched. They're generally
Just
psyched.
Animals are just psyched.
You know what I'll tell you? Look at dogs.
Okay.
I love dogs.
Dogs
Me
are
too.
great.
All right, and I
I
got
think we
dogs
can all
right.
Agree we all like dogs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I made dogs really friendly with people because I was hoping that if you had like a really positive psyched best friend that it would like catch on.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Most of the time it doesn't. People love dogs because man, they're just jazzed. They're there, and like look at how much they love you. Look at how much they love eating every single day. You put food in front of them, they're like, "Oh my God, losing my mind! I can't believe there's food here."
Yeah, it's great.
It is great.
It's so great to make them happy.
Every time they see you,
Exactly.
it's like the first time they see you. It's
Yeah, they live in their own personal heaven all the time. You know what they do all day? Eat, sleep, love people. They're not worried about their jobs. They're not worried about any other thing in the world.
Yeah, but that's different. You tasked us with that. You've given us the infrastructure as
Yeah, I agree with
humans
that.
to want.
I have to disagree with that because guess what? There are some people, you know what they're doing right now? They're just traveling around the world. They're just seeing stuff. They're staying at hostels and Airbnbs.
You don't think they want
They're
to enrich themselves
sleeping.
and
Yeah,
You
they're probably
don't
doing that
self-actualize?
too.
I mean,
Exactly.
I guess, are you going to say that traveling around the world, interacting with multiple cultures, seeing the beauty and bountifulness of nature is not enriching yourself?
That's enriching.
It's
yeah, of
definitely
course.
enriching
It
yourself.
100% is. So why aren't you doing it?
Well, I'm enriching myself in a different way.
There's different ways to enrich yourself.
There absolutely are.
So I don't see I still don't see why you're comparing us to dogs. It seems like a different.
I'm saying there are all
worldview.
kinds of ways of being happy, even amongst the fact that bad things happen.
I think you're a real son of a bitch.
Okay. Because
I just think your every question we have, you just give us a metaphor about giraffes or dogs.
There's been a lot of
So there's been a
metaphors.
lot of animal metaphors,
I love animals.
and I know it. That much is clear, and I just don't see how it relates to us as people. We wouldn't be having these thoughts and these crises of faith if we weren't set up to have them.
You're upset that you're too hyper aware of existence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that strikes at something.
Right. But had I not made you hyper aware of existence, you wouldn't have made all the things that made human beings special.
Sure.
Yeah, because
Sure.
if we were whales.
So I guess what I'm saying is, I'm sorry I gave you amazing consciousness to create lives that are varied and vast and different. I apologize for burdening you with the ability to create fantastic things like art and technology.
I can tell you're upset
Yeah.
and think we're not grateful.
You don't.
Well-
that doesn't sound like a real apology.
No, because it isn't. This is the thing. Everybody wants it every way. You know? You want it every way.
think
I
we're
made you have a certain thing, which means you also have to pay the price tag for having that certain thing.
We didn't ask for it.
Nobody asks for it.
Here's my 2 cents about that listener's question is that I think that person who said, "How can I save more souls?" If I were to give them the benefit of the doubt, because you immediately wrote that off, and I think
Yeah.
that it was coming from a place of how can I do good.
Yeah, but the thing is there's a reason why they phrase the question that way. It's not about doing good. If you're doing good just for the sake of doing good, that's amazing. Saving more souls is the idea that like you are responsible for the way that the afterlife works, and if you adopt my philosophy, I can actually bring you into a brighter, happier place than enjoying your own existence now. It's not about enriching people's lives. It's about making yourself feel better. People that like only volunteer at shelters on Christmas. Guess what, everybody? People are starving or homeless year-round. But on Christmas, they're like, well, gotta do my duty so I
that
feel
time of year.
good about myself as a person.
That is a little bullshitty.
It
but
seems like
I see what you mean.
It seems like what you're saying. Seems like most of your answers are. We keep asking stuff like Zach. We keep asking stuff like, we keep expecting this certain expectation or this certain outcome or a certain reward, or how can we save souls because we need to save souls because there's this thing afterwards, right? And he keeps always saying the same thing, which is, it's not about any sort of like reward or gift or outcome or getting to heaven or anything like that, because it's just about being present and doing things because you want to do them. Correct?
Don't worry about afterwards
Don't
because
worry about
there is
afterwards.
no
Worry
afterwards.
about right now. There's no afterwards. If you want to do good, do good. If you don't,
Sure.
don't. Doesn't really matter.
It's like that's that Cat Stevens song.
Well, here's the thing that I'll tell you. I will
Cat
take you
Stevens,
back
right.
to the gratitude thing that I brought up before.
Okay.
Gratitude. You asked me, is there a reward for being good to people, right? Mm-hmm. What's the point? The point is, you are surrounded with people that love and trust you in a way that is so deeply and personally intimate that other people that are not good people will never know. They will never know that joy. I think that's pretty spectacular. And I also am surprised that you look at that and go, wow, I think it's great that people love and think I'm amazing, but where's my Ferrari? You know?
I was gonna say Mercedes Benz.
Sure. Where's my Mercedes Benz for being a good person?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I think you might be right about that.
Yeah.
That question of like, how do I save more souls is pretentious. That person, it's like, you're not better than me. Like, you're not better than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Stop thinking you're such a goddamn high and mighty.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll tell you. I get that person is coming from a place of love.
Now you just make me sound like an asshole.
No. I'm not saying it's not misguided. I'm not saying that like they haven't attached a bunch of stories to that love and like how this whole system works. Because I will often tell you that like, you know, it's very sad, but I see very religious people often being the most cruel to other people. And the hypocrisy of that is what baffles me. Because I say, if you believed that thing, if you thought that thing was so important, then how come you don't behave in that way? And how come the heathens that you would call are actually better to their fellow man than you are? That's my thing about religions and gay people. Oh my God, gay people are wonderful. And they have brought humanity so many joys that people deeply appreciate. I know everyone loves that Queer Eye TV show. I mean, they brought more things, but Queer Eye, spectacular. It is a heartwarming. I cry every time.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
I'm with you on that as well.
All right,
Saw it
but
the first time last
those people that say they're there, how can I save more souls, are the first people that'll write off those Queer Eye guys. And that, I will not accept.
Well, the way you said that sentence sounded like the end of a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you, God, as always. And I especially want to thank you, Brandon McShane. Thank you so much
Thank you, Zach.
coming on, joining us.
Just happy to spend more time with you, really.
This is great.
Consider
Yeah.
you a great friend.
Thank you very much. Alrighty, thanks for listening to Why God Why. Subscribe to us on iTunes.
Yeah, wherever you get your podcasts.
Leave us a review.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And if you want to reach out, we are on Twitter at Why God Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody, that is Why God Why for this week or this session. Tune in next time. I can't wait to see what we unpack. Take care now. Bye-bye, Dan.
All right.